There are people out there getting more done before lunch than most people accomplish in a full day. Their sleep is better. Their home runs itself. Their meetings summarize themselves. They never get lost in translation, never miss a face at the door, and never touch a vacuum. They are not working harder. They have just found the gadgets that do the work for them. These 20 are the ones doing it right now. Stay through number 1 because that one makes you question why you were ever doing any of it manually. Before we get started, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the latest AI gadgets, futuristic tech, and smart inventions. Also, check the links in the description if you want to learn more about any of the gadgets featured in today's video. Number 20. The Raspberry Pi AI Kit. The Raspberry Pi AI Kit is for the people who want to build the unfair advantage rather than just buy it. At around $70, it adds a neural processing unit to the Raspberry Pi 5, giving a $40 single-board computer the ability to run local AI inference at speeds that would have required server hardware a few years ago. That means you can build a real-time object detection camera, a private voice assistant that never sends audio to the cloud, a home automation brain that processes decisions locally without an internet connection, or a custom machine learning project tuned to whatever problem you are actually trying to solve. The barrier used to be that edge AI required expensive dedicated hardware or constant cloud connectivity. The AI kit removes both of those barriers at once. For the maker, the developer, or the student who has been circling the AI space and waiting for a practical on-ramp, $70 now buys real AI hardware that used to exist only inside research labs. Number 19. The Google Coral USB Accelerator. The Google Coral USB Accelerator plugs into any USB port and adds a dedicated edge TPU to whatever machine it is connected to. At around $59, it enables real-time machine learning inference for image classification, object detection, and natural language processing without sending any data to a remote server and without taxing the host machine's CPU. For developers building smart camera systems or privacy-sensitive AI applications where cloud inference is not acceptable, the Coral accelerates model execution fast enough to handle live video on hardware that would otherwise struggle with the load. The chip is the same class of hardware powering commercial AI deployments, shrunk to a USB stick. For anyone doing serious work at the edge of what small devices can do with AI, the Coral turns a project that previously required a full server into something that runs from a shelf in a home office. The accessibility is what changes the equation. Hardware like this used to define who could build AI applications and who could not. Number 18. The Aqara Camera Hub G3. The Aqara Camera Hub G3 is doing 2 jobs in a single device priced at around $99. On the camera side, it handles 2K resolution with infrared night vision, two-way audio, and local storage so footage never has to leave the home network. On the hub side, it connects directly to Zigbee smart home devices and triggers automations based on what the camera sees. Point it at the front door and it can recognize a face and automatically adjust lighting or unlock a compatible smart lock. Motion elsewhere in the home triggers automations without any manual input. For anyone building a smart home that responds to its environment rather than just responding to button presses, the G3 is the camera that gives the system actual eyes. HomeKit Secure Video keeps all processing on device, which means the intelligence stays local and no footage is routed through a third-party server to make the automations work. Number 17. The Firewalla Purple SE. Everything on this list does something visible. The Firewalla Purple SE does its most important work invisibly. At around $199 to $299, it plugs into the home router and monitors every connected device in real time, blocking malware, stopping intrusion attempts, and flagging suspicious outbound connections. The companion app shows exactly which devices are talking to which servers, allows parental controls at the device level, and gives a live view of network activity that a non-technical user can actually read. For the household that has accumulated smart devices, cameras, and connected appliances without thinking about what those devices are doing on the network, the Firewalla catches problems before they become incidents. Quiet, continuous, and invisible until you look at the dashboard and realize how much it has already blocked. Number 16. The Eufy Security S330 with Bionic Mind AI. Smart doorbells have existed for years, but the Eufy S330 with Bionic Mind AI is doing something the others are not. The AI learns to recognize the specific faces of household members and frequent visitors, storing those profiles locally on the device rather than in a cloud that requires a monthly subscription. Once trained, it distinguishes between a family member arriving, a delivery driver, a neighbor, and an unknown visitor, sending the right alert for each instead of a generic motion ping for everything. Video quality is high enough to be useful as evidence, and the local storage removes the recurring fee that makes cloud-based smart security feel like a tax on owning a doorbell. At around $199 to $299, the S330 is what the smart doorbell category looks like when the intelligence is genuinely inside the device. Number 15. The OBSBot Tiny 2. The OBSBot Tiny 2 at around $329 is a 4K AI webcam that physically tracks the person on camera using a motorized gimbal, keeping the face centered in the frame whether the person stands up, moves to a whiteboard, or shifts position during a call. The tracking is fast enough that the movement looks natural rather than mechanical. Subject tracking adjusts for multiple people in the frame when needed, and hand gesture recognition activates zoom and recording controls without touching the keyboard. For anyone who presents regularly, teaches remotely, or produces video content from a desk, this replaces a camera plus operator setup with one compact device. On a professional video call, the difference between this and a laptop camera is immediately visible to everyone on the other end of the call. Number 14. The Withings ScanWatch 2. The Withings ScanWatch 2 is health monitoring that runs in the background without asking anything of you. At around $300 and above, it tracks heart rate continuously, detects irregular rhythms, monitors blood oxygen, measures respiratory rate during sleep, and alerts to elevated stress through electrodermal activity sensing, all while wearing like a conventional analog watch with hands. The EEG recording accessible from the watch face produces a medical-grade single-lead electrocardiogram that can be shared with a physician. Sleep tracking identifies stages and detects sleep apnea indicators, generating a nightly score from multiple physiological inputs rather than movement alone. Battery life runs to several weeks on a single charge rather than the daily charging routine most smartwatches require. A wearable that delivers clinic-level passive health intelligence every day without requiring any change in behavior to make it work. Number 13. The Ringcon Gen 2 Air. Smart rings have earned their place in the health category because they deliver continuous monitoring without the bulk or battery anxiety of a smartwatch. The Ringcon Gen 2 Air at around $199 to $299 tracks heart rate, blood oxygen, skin temperature, and sleep stages through the night, producing recovery and readiness scores without a subscription fee. That no subscription policy is the thing that separates it from the main competitor in the category. The lightweight titanium construction means most people forget it is there within days of wearing it, and the battery outlasts any comparable smartwatch by a significant margin. For anyone who wants health data without the screen, the notifications, or the feeling of wearing a computer on the wrist, the Gen 2 Air delivers the information quietly and presents a clean summary each morning when you choose to look. No subscription. No daily charging ritual, just a ring that tracks while you sleep and reports when you wake up. Number 12. The Time Kettle W4 Pro. Real-time translation has been promised for long enough that most people have stopped believing it. The Time Kettle W4 Pro at around $299 to $400 is the product that makes the case it has actually arrived. It operates in 3 modes. Touch to translate handles face-to-face conversations where each person holds one earbud during their turn. Simul-Listen runs simultaneous interpretation, so translated speech arrives in near real time rather than with the delay of a turn-based system. Speaker mode broadcasts translation through the phone for group situations. 40 languages and 93 accents are supported with accuracy suitable for business and medical conversations, not just tourist interactions. For anyone who travels internationally for work, manages international clients, or lives in a multilingual environment, The W4 Pro removes a friction point that previously required either hiring an interpreter or accepting communication that fell short of what the situation needed. Number 11. The Echo Dot Max. The Echo Dot Max at around $99 earns its place at number 11 because Alexa Plus makes it something meaningfully different from earlier generations. The updated AI layer handles complex multi-step requests, manages follow-up questions within a conversation without requiring the wake word to be repeated, and integrates with smart home routines in a way that feels responsive to intent rather than just command syntax. For households already inside the Amazon ecosystem, the combination of improved AI reasoning and the expanded capability of Alexa Plus makes this the device that makes a smart home feel like it understands what you want rather than waiting for the exact phrase it was trained on. At $100, it is the most accessible entry point to the current generation of conversational AI in a home speaker form. And for anyone who remembers what Alexa was like 3 years ago, the difference in what Alexa Plus can handle now is large enough to make the Echo Dot Max feel like a different product category entirely. Number 10. The Garmin Catalyst Driving Performance Optimizer. Most people who drive on a track are guessing. They sense they brake too early into a corner or lost momentum on the exit, but the data showing exactly where the time went requires coaching and equipment that costs more than the driving itself. The Garmin Catalyst at around $699 to $999 closes that gap. It mounts on the windshield, records every lap in detail using GPS and an accelerometer, and delivers real-time audio coaching during a session, calling out braking points and corner exit speed by name as each corner arrives. After the session, it builds an optimal lap from the best sectors achieved across all laps and shows precisely where the gains are available. What previously required a professional coach with a stopwatch at each corner now runs in a self-contained device every session. For the track day driver who wants to actually get faster rather than just accumulate laps, the Catalyst is the advantage that was previously reserved for drivers with a full team. Number 9. The Robotics Saros Z70. The Robotics Saros Z70 at around $1,299 is a robot vacuum that has acquired a robotic arm. The arm picks up small objects from the floor before vacuuming, removing the requirement to pre-clear the area before the robot can do its job. In a home with kids, pets, or the normal accumulation of cables and small items between cleaning sessions, this changes the vacuum from a device that works when conditions are right into one that manages conditions itself before cleaning. Navigation uses structured light sensors and AI object recognition to map at a level that allows furniture-level obstacle avoidance at full speed. The mopping system runs on a separate tank with automatic refill and self-cleaning at the base station. The house cleans itself while you do something else. That is not a description of what the Z70 promises. That is a description of what it does. Number 8. The Ray-Ban Meta Gen 2 Smart Glasses. The Ray-Ban Meta Gen 2 wear like sunglasses because they are sunglasses. At around $299, they take photos and 12-second videos with a shutter on the temple, play audio through open-ear speakers in the frame, and run Meta AI through a voice assistant accessible with a single tap. The AI answers questions about what the camera sees in real time, translates text in the field of view, identifies objects and locations, and handles reminders and information lookups, while both hands stay free. What makes these feel like cheating rather than just technology is the form factor. No one looking at you sees a device. There is no screen to glance at, no earbuds to insert, no phone to raise. The intelligence is ambient, running in glasses that look like glasses. For anyone who wants AI capability in the physical world without announcing it, the Gen 2 is the closest thing available to something that is simply always present. Number 7. The Plaud NotePen S. Every meeting and lecture that mattered has required either manual note-taking or accepting that content would be lost. The Plaud NotePen S at around $159 makes both of those options unnecessary. It clips to a collar or pocket, records in the background, and produces a transcription and structured summary through the companion app, segmented by speaker and organized into action items and key points, rather than a raw transcript that requires rereading to find what mattered. The summary arrives within minutes of the recording ending. For anyone who has walked out of a meeting immediately trying to reconstruct what was decided and who said what, the NotePen S removes that exercise entirely. The recording is passive. The AI does the organization. What arrives in the app captures the meeting more accurately than any notes taken during it. Number 6. The 8 Sleep Pod 5 Ultra. The 8 Sleep Pod 5 Ultra at around $3,000 and above earns its place by doing something no other device on this list can do. It actively heats and cools each side of the bed independently throughout the night based on the sleep stage of the person on that side, shifting temperature as the body moves through light sleep, deep sleep, and REM to create conditions that maximize time in each stage. Biometric tracking runs through the mattress surface with no wearable required, monitoring heart rate, breathing, sleep stages, and HRV continuously. The alarm wakes each sleeper at the optimal point in the sleep cycle within a preset window, rather than cutting into deep sleep because a clock reached a specific number. Recovery scores and sleep coaching accumulate over time into a data set most people have never had access to for something they spend a third of their lives doing. At this price, the question is not whether it is worth it. The question is what one additional hour of quality sleep per night is worth over months and years of doing it. Number 5. The Kindle Scribe ColorSoft. At around $629, the Kindle Scribe ColorSoft is what the notebook and the library look like when they stop being two separate things. The color ink display is large and sharp enough for comfortable reading without backlit eye strain. The stylus writes directly on the display, and the AI layer makes those notes searchable across sessions and converts handwriting to text when needed. Reading and writing happen on the same surface, so annotating a book or drafting while referencing a document does not require switching devices. The AI summary feature condenses lengthy material before reading, and notebook organization makes months of handwritten notes findable in seconds. For the reader, student, researcher, or professional who moves between consuming and producing written content every day, the Scribe ColorSoft is the device that makes that workflow significantly more efficient without changing how information gets captured. Number 4. The Ring Wired Doorbell Pro. The Ring Wired Doorbell Pro at around $249 does something that seems simple and proves more useful the longer you live with it. The bird's eye view feature uses an overhead map to show the exact path a visitor walked from the street to the door and back, not just a clip of the moment they stood at the bell. That trajectory captures loitering, delivery confirmation with a record of where packages were placed, and any approach from a direction a front-facing camera would partially miss. Head-to-toe video captures the full figure of anyone at the door rather than a cropped frame cutting off at the waist. Person, package, and vehicle detection reduce notifications to alerts that are actually meaningful rather than a ping every time a car passes. For security that is specific enough to act on rather than generic enough to ignore, the Ring Pro delivers on what the category has been promising. Number 3. The Echo Studio. At around $219, the Echo Studio is the Amazon speaker that makes the case a smart speaker does not have to sound like a voice assistant with a speaker attached. The 5-driver array with a dedicated subwoofer produces spatial audio that calibrates automatically to the room acoustics detected by the built-in microphones, for any household using a smart speaker as a primary listening device. The difference in audio quality between the Echo Studio and anything else in the Echo line is significant enough that everything else sounds compromised afterward. Alexa Plus handles multi-step requests, manages smart home routines, and follows conversational threads without resetting between exchanges. The combination of the best audio hardware Amazon has built into a home speaker and the most capable version of Alexa currently available makes the Studio the right answer for anyone who wants one device to handle both jobs properly, rather than two separate devices for each. Number 2. The Echo Show 11. The Echo Show 11 at around $219 is large enough to function as a kitchen screen, a family calendar, a video call station, and a smart home control panel without feeling like a compromise on any of those functions. The 11-inch display handles text-heavy content without the squinting the smaller Echo Show sizes require. Alexa Plus handles multi-step requests, manages household routines across smart home systems, surfaces reminders and calendar events from connected accounts, and runs video calls with a wide-angle camera that keeps the full frame in view without cutting off anyone standing slightly to the side. The adaptive display adjusts brightness based on ambient light, remaining readable in a bright kitchen and not lighting up a dark room at night. For households managing multiple schedules, smart devices, and information sources from one central screen, the Show 11 is the display that makes a home feel genuinely organized rather than just connected. Number 1. The Dream Matrix 10 Ultra. This is the one that makes everything else on the list feel like it is still asking something of you. The Dream Matrix 10 Ultra at around $1,699 is a robot vacuum and mop system that has solved the problems keeping robot vacuums from being a complete replacement for manual cleaning. The mop pads wash themselves at the base station with hot water and dry with hot air to prevent mildew. The dustbin empties itself after each run. The water tank refills automatically, so mopping does not stop halfway through because the tank ran dry. AI object recognition navigates around cables, shoes, and furniture legs without a pre-mapping session to learn their locations. You set a schedule once. The floors are cleaned on that schedule. The system maintains itself between every run. No emptying, no refilling, no washing. No intervention of any kind until a maintenance alert appears in the app. For anyone who has owned a robot vacuum and still found themselves doing meaningful manual work to keep it running, the Matrix 10 Ultra is the version that removes that work entirely. The floors stay clean and you do nothing to make that happen. That is not marketing language. That is what this device actually does, and it is why it earns the top spot on a list about technology that feels like cheating. Those are 20 AI gadgets that remove the effort from things that used to require it. From sleeping better automatically, to floors that clean themselves, to real-time translation, to a track day coach that runs in your windshield. Everything is linked below with current pricing. Subscribe if this is the kind of content you want more of, because the next list is already being built.